an associate professor of political science at Fordham University, also author of the book Black Ethnics. It's so good to have you here. Thank you so much. If you could, the historical impacts, I should say, of this incredible day.
I mean, Shep, where do we begin? We've got Joe Biden, who's only the second president in the United States who's Catholic. We've got our first second gentleman who's also Jewish. We've never had anyone in the sort of inner circle of the presidency or vice presidency. And then we have Kamala Harris, who's the child of immigrants, two sets of immigrants. She's a Black woman. She's Asian American. She went to a historically Black college. I think a lot of people have a lot of mixed emotions today of sheer exhaustion and elation. We're still processing the last 4 years where oftentimes policy-wise and verbally it felt like many people who look like Kamala Harris were under attack. So I think a lot of people are looking forward to the next 4 years and looking forward to an administration who will work with scientists to move us forward so we can get out from underneath COVID-19 and start to heal literally and figuratively as a nation.
Many nods to racial injustice and social challenges. He said the dream of justice for all will be deferred no longer, personified in the presence of the first Black vice president. The barriers broken by Kamala Harris today. Your thoughts on those and what an extraordinary accomplishment this is.
Indeed. I mean, we're one of the few nations that has not had female leadership at this level. A few democratic nations, a few democracies that haven't had this type of representation. And I think, a lot of people talk about their daughters, but it's also their sons seeing female leadership at this level. When Barack Obama was elected in 2008, it meant a lot to many African Americans, not just in the United States, but abroad. I think the representation of Kamala Harris means a lot to women across the globe. I think it means a lot to first-generation immigrants. I think it means a ton to children of immigrants, but to Black women especially, who we know have really delivered at the ballot box in all 50 states across the country, to continue the legacy of people like Shirley Chisholm and Barbara Jordan and Carol Moseley Braun, the first African-American U.S. Senator. I think Kamala Harris's, Vice President Harris, I should say, is very well aware of the shoulders upon which she stands and the duty she has moving our nation forward. And I think that she and Joe Biden will make a really fantastic team, demographically, regionally, of course, to really think about how to move this country forward.
In so many ways, the election of Joe Biden can be attributed to, and he can give thanks to, African Americans and especially Black women. And that he has a united government could largely be as well the work of Stacey Abrams in the state of Georgia and the turnout of Black people in Georgia. So much to be thankful for on the behalf of this new first family. Before we leave, what is the most important thing that this administration can do to bring about the sort of racial justice and unity and social justice about which he and this new administration have been speaking?
Well, I think that there are many things that Joe Biden plans to do day one. Keep in mind, he only has unified government guaranteed for 2 years. So I think he wants to obviously get the vaccination disseminated to the American public, but we know that African Americans are disproportionately affected by COVID-19. I think some of the voting rights legislation that's on his desk, he wants to sign, and hopefully the Senate will help put that legislation together. Some of the executive orders, protecting not just native lands, but really shoring up our environment, where we know that African Americans are disproportionately affected by environmental concerns. I think that there are a lot of executive orders and policy proposals that Joe Biden has ready to go for his first few weeks in office that will really help lift the tide, not just for all Americans, but specifically for Black Americans who have had a really rough go of things under the Trump administration.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.